Okay, let's start the recording. Okay, fine. See, you all know that there are certain Boolean operations which you might be aware of it. Okay, what are the Boolean operations? So Boolean operations means Boolean operations, which you might have studied in your high school or whatever it may be. See, we have used the symbol. If I use this one, it is nothing but less than. Okay, and I have an option less than or equal to, less than or equal to. Okay, then you have this option equal. That means your LHS is equal to RHS. That is equal to. Then greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Okay, then you have greater than. Then we have the not equal to. These are the simple operations. What Boolean operations that we have done. Now look at this. Whenever we try to use this Boolean operation, what does it tell actually? See, Boolean operation will check for either true or false, or if it is yes, if it is no. These are the two conditions. See, based on these two conditions, I can take my control statements to next possible state. So I can take the control of that particular part of the program to the next level. So if it is correct, if it is true, I'll move to the next position. If it is false, I'll move to the next position. So this is how your Boolean operations will work. Okay. Now, so whenever we speak of this Boolean operations or conditional statements and all, how it is done actually. Simple example, we have different types of conditional statements in Python. So one such statement is the if-else statement. Okay. In Python, let's look one by one. So we call that as Python flow control. Flow control statements. Okay, let's look into the first one. That is if else statement. What is it actually? See, when I speak of if else statement, so what it is actually, I'm going to check for a particular condition. So I'm going to use, so these are how the syntax is. If I'm going to test the expression with a colon at the end. See, look at this. If I use a if statement at the end, I have to use a colon. Then I can have n number of statements followed by statements. This is the simple form of using the if statement, if else statement. What is it actually? See, this is nothing but a decision making. This is nothing but a decision making statements. Okay. What is it actually? If I try to put a flow chart for it, if I try to put a flow chart for it, so how it is actually, something is coming. So I have a decision rhombus here. Okay, this is the expression what I am trying to check. Okay, if it is true and I have a false. If it is true, what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute two statements. If it is false, I want to exit it. Okay. This is how the statements will work. Simple if statement flowchart. Now, in the if statement itself, if we have more number of, say for example, I have a if, else, in between I need to have maybe multiple if else conditions I have to check. Okay, that means if the Python decision making itself is actually there are more number of if else thing, then what I'm going to use actually, I am going to use what is called as if, okay, elif followed by else statement. So this is also a form of if else statement. If else, it's a single condition. If, elif, else means I have multiple conditions we under the same if loop actually. What does it does actually? Now let us look into the some examples. Okay, let's look into the examples, then we'll try to understand what it is. Okay, suppose for example, let me take some number, some n is equal to some 5. Okay, if I give a condition, if n is greater than 0. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give one statement, print n is positive. Some statement I'm giving you. Okay, okay, this is what I'm trying to check. Then what I need to do actually, I need to increment this or decrement this. What I'm going to do actually, I'm going to put n is equal to n plus or minus 1, whatever it may be, I can do it. I'm going to increment or decrement this number. Okay, increment or decrement this number. Okay, so few books actually they simply tell n is equal to n minus 1 or plus or minus 1, whatever it may be, you use it. Then put it in the loop. What it does is actually, it does this execute the statement. Yes, it will print the statement. Then there is a decrement in this number. Okay, so for all, see, for n greater than 1, say until unless n greater than 0, until unless this n becomes 0, until n becomes 0, this condition keeps repeating. It is n is equal to 1, okay, 5. So first initial it is n is equal to 5. So what will be the output actually? If I try to print n actually, I'll be getting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Then at the 0, what it does actually, if I try to, it will check for the condition, it will come out. If you want, you can take the printout of that particular thing also. So I'll get all the numbers, all the values of the n from 5 to 1 from the loop condition, and the moment n is equal to 0, it will come out. Now let us look at it actually. If I want to check something like if the particular number is greater than or equal to 0, or I want to use if else statement. This is only if condition. I'm using if condition. If I want to use if else condition, how should I use it actually? Suppose if I take the same number, see, I can use it something like this. If, okay, if n is greater than or equal to 0, okay, print it is n is positive number. Else, okay, look at the syntax. Else should followed by colon. If should end with a colon. So this if should end with a colon. Else should end with a colon. Then use the print statement. Print, okay, n is a negative number. See, this is a simple thing what I'm trying to do. So depending upon the value of n, if you want, you can input the value of n. See, what I am trying to show is just a condition here. So this is just a condition. I have not input the value of n. Now what I can do, you can give that as an input, a terminal input. Input the value of n. The moment I input the value of n greater than 0, it will tell that what will be the output. Output will be n is a positive number. The moment I input the value of n less than 0, it will give n is a negative number. What it is checking, either this is true. If it is false, it's telling that it's a negative number. Okay. Now, so depending upon the condition, so this is the condition. So this is the condition what I am trying to check, either true or false. Okay. Now if there is an if else statement, if else statement, how it's going to do actually. So here sometimes we may have to check for multiple conditions. Okay. Sometimes we have to check for multiple conditions. Multiple conditions within the same if loop. In that case, what we will do actually, say for example, if n is equal to greater than 0, I can print it is a n is a positive number. Okay. Suppose if n is equal to 0, what I will use actually, I am going to use elif. Okay. If n is equal to 0, followed by colon. Look at this. Each statement of elif, if I'm ending with colon, print n is 0. Else print n is a negative number. What is the extra thing I did from compared to the previous thing? There I was checking for a positive number or a negative number. But in this condition, so in this if, elif and else statement, I was checking for the third condition where n is equal to 0, and I'm telling that the print n is equal to 0. So like this, so I can have n number of elifs. If elif, I can do, and at the end I can put else. I can have n number of elifs. So if this is the condition, what we have, multiple conditions under the same if loop. Okay. If that particular condition is satisfied, that particular statement is executed. Otherwise, it will move to the next statement. So if this condition is satisfied, this is print out. If this condition is not satisfied, then it will move to the next statement. If this condition is satisfied, then it will print this. If this condition is not satisfied, it will move to the next, then this will be. So any one of the condition will definitely be true. Any one condition has to be true. So then that particular number will be get printed. And this is, I think, this is, we call it as, it is called as multiple if conditions. So sometimes you may be having the nested if else statement also. Nested if else statement also. What it is actually, I'll be checking for one if condition inside the other. One condition inside the other. How it is actually. So we call that as nested if else statements. So I think I was telling you how to input this thing. Let me input the number from the terminal. So let me take an example. Input the number from the terminal. How it is actually? So let me call that as n is equal to. So if you want, you can input as int or a float, whatever it may be. Int, okay. Input enter the numbers. Okay, so this is what I am trying to input the number. Now I'll try to put the nested if conditions one inside the other. I'm just trying to check the same thing, 0, positive and negative. What I will do actually, first condition, if n is greater than or equal to 0, you have to end with a colon. Okay, and I'm going to put one more if statement. If n is equal to 0, okay, print n is 0, else print n is positive number, else print n is negative. Look at this. See, I got the same similar kind of output using if, elif and else statements. Now the same thing can be obtained using the nested loops actually. What I am trying to check here, say for example, let us try to give an example. Let's try to input n is equal to some 5. See what it's going to, so I'm going to input the value of n is equal to 5. So what it will do, if n is greater than or equal to 0, yes, it is greater than or equal to 0. So what it will print actually, it will tell that n is, it will go to the next statement. If n is equal to 0, no, the condition is false. So else, so what will be the output? The output will be your n was the moment I input n is equal to 5, the output will be n is a positive number. Suppose if I input n is equal to -1 or -1 or -2, whatever it may be. So let me do -2. So you to check if n is greater than or equal to 0. No, it is n is less than or equal to 0. So immediately it will come to this particular statement. It will tell that n is a negative number. So this is how you can check the conditions of the given statements or whatever is there. This is about your if, elif or if else statements. Is that fine? If there are any doubts? Disturbance is there? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. So some Nakalambika.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. So this is about your if else statement. There are no doubts. Shall we proceed further? If there are any doubts, you can just unmute and you can speak. Okay. Then we'll move to the next type of loop, what is called as loops actually. Loops in Python. Okay. What is this loop actually? Loop is nothing but for statements. Okay. For, see, Python, see, loops in Python. What is it actually? See, it is nothing but the for loop. See, the for loop in Python is used to, see, why this particular for loop is used? To check for iteration. One is to check for iteration. Okay. To check for the iteration, maybe we can call it as a sequence. How many times that has to be repeated, whether it is in order or whatever it may be. Okay. And one more thing, sometimes you have to, not only while iterating, you have to check for, say, one of the lists or tuple or a string, whatever it may be. You have to check for it. So what will be the syntax for the loop? See, the syntax for the for loop. What is it actually? See, for, I need to check for the a value in condition or a sequence where I need to check, then followed by statements, followed by some statements. What is this value or variable? See, is nothing but VAL means actually it is a variable. What variable I am trying to check? See, this variable value I am trying to check in that particular sequence where I am trying to look into it. If that condition is satisfied, then if the condition is satisfied, I'll move to the next thing. If the condition is not satisfied, I'll move to the next statement. Okay, then each condition is checked and iterated and we'll look for it. Say for example, let's try to look into some examples. Okay. Examples. Okay. Now let's have some kind of a list actually. Let's try to have a list of numbers. List of numbers. Let me call it as some num actually. Num is equal to, let me create a list. So some numbers 5, 3, 8, 4, 2, 5, 6. Okay. So tell me. Okay, so this is a list what I have created. Now, so here I have to check for a particular value or value in that particular, in that numbers, the list actually. Okay, so now I have to check for a variable. Okay, I have to check for the variable. So something I have to check for a condition. What is it actually? So if I want to do that actually, I need to get into some kind of an iterative loop actually. So to do that, what I'm going to use, I'm going to use a for loop. Okay, so what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to iterate using the loop actually. What is it actually? For some condition. What is the condition? For the condition, what I'm trying to do, so it's a variable or a value in numbers. See, for that particular condition in your numbers. Okay, for, say for example, I want to check for some 5. Okay, for 5 in numbers. Okay, for 5 in that particular numbers. I am trying to check for that particular thing. That means either you can check for that particular value or that particular thing. Okay, for 5 in numbers. So what you have to do actually, maybe I can have some condition. That is actually, I can maybe I can initialize sum is equal to 0. So sum is equal to, okay, sum plus 5. Okay, what is going to do actually? Then if you want, I can print it. So I can print the sum is what it does actually. So initially the sum value is 0. It will check for this particular thing. So I have to end with a column. Okay. So it will check for this 5 in this particular number. Then it will add. So there are 2 times I have 5 numbers. Okay. It will check for that particular thing in the list. Then what will be the output actually? The output will be, see, the output will be something like this. The output will be, the sum is 10. Okay, the output is sum is equal to 10. 1. Yeah, 1 minute. Battery got over. 1 minute. Okay, fine. So this is how the for statement will, for loop will work. Now there are certain things. Sometimes we may have to check for the range actually. When you're using this for loop, I can check for a particular range. So you all know that there is something called as a range function. So using this range, I can generate a numbers either from starting from 0 to 9, or it can be something like I can start, or I can stop. I can go with a step value. All these things can be done. Okay, so let me tell that. So how to use the range function. The range function. What is it actually? So this is nothing but, if I use this range function, I can start, or I can stop, I can go some kind of a step value. Okay, some kind of a step value or step size, or whatever we call it as step size. Okay, all the operations can be done. And one more thing is actually, one more advantage is actually, if I want to print something, print range from range 10 means what is going to view actually. So this is what I can do. So simply if I try to use this function, print range 10. Okay, the moment I give this to the Python command, what will be the output actually? The output will be something like, I'll be getting all the values. See, the output will be, I'll be getting all the values from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 0 to 9. So 10 values. Look at this. This is the range. Okay, this is the range I'm going to get. Okay. Now suppose if I go to, so this is nothing but a list actually. See, this is nothing but a list actually. So list I can get it. Or if I want to get it from 2 to some 5 or 2 to 8 or 3 to 9 and all. So it will go from maybe including and excluding. Already we have studied about the same thing in the list actually. It will follow the same what we call a rules and regulation in creating the list. Maybe the first letter is inclusion of that and the last letter is exclusion of that. So that particular rule is going to apply and it's going to use it. Now, how we can use this in the using for loop? Say for example, I have some kind of a maybe a list is there. Okay, let me take some kind of a list actually. Some example. Let me take an example. So I have a list. The list is of maybe fruits actually. Okay, let's say fruits, apple, banana, and maybe grapes. Okay, I have this particular thing. Now I need to check for some kind of a range in it actually. Okay, what is it actually? I want to check for some length or something. Okay, now for example, how to use the for loop? Iterate using for loop. How to do that? So for, I have to give a condition for any value of something, maybe I or n or g, whatever it may be, you can give it as actually. Let me give it as I or whatever it may be. For I, okay, in a range, okay, a range, I'm going to use a length, len actually, length of fruits, okay, length of in the fruit start end with a colon. So what I'm trying to check actually, if I try to print, okay, maybe I like a particular fruit or something. Let me call it as my favorite fruit. My favorite fruit. Okay, this. What I'm going to fruit is, or I'm going to print the output, that is fruits I. Because this is the condition. Okay, the moment I put it in the loop, what I'm going to get actually, it will print my favorite fruit is apple, my favorite fruit is banana, my favorite fruit is grapes. Because here I am trying to, I'm not giving any condition. I'm not giving any condition. For some value of I varying from all the range, see, from 0 to this particular thing. See, my output will be, see, I'm using the range function for the loop to iterate through a sequence. Okay, to iterate through a sequence of numbers. It can, see, I'm trying to combine with a length option. See, the length option here. So what it's going to give an output? The output will be the output will be my favorite fruit. First it's going to tell it's apple. Then it will tell my favorite fruit banana. Then my favorite fruit grapes. So this is how you will be able to use a range function range option and trying to get the output using the for loop. So what I'm trying to do actually, it's only iteration, one after the other, trying to iterate one after the other. Okay. Now, is it possible for us to use this for loop with else condition? Okay. For loop can be used with else condition also. So we call that as for loop with else condition. See, a for loop can have what we can call it, it's an optional thing. Okay. See, if else is usually we use it actually. A for loop can have an else as an optional. Okay. And what we are trying to do actually, we will try to divide it into different blocks to check for the condition. Okay. What it does actually, the moment I tell for, this is the condition, I'm going to print, I will check for the condition, then it's going to tell that the else part will be executed if the particular items in sequence in the loop is, if the particular loop exhausts, that means one after the other, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, all the conditions are satisfied, it got exhausted, then it will try to come out. Okay, let me see an example for it. For loop with a else condition. We're trying to look at the example. Say for example, I have some kind of a numbers. So let me take some 3 numbers. What is the? Let me call it as some num. Okay, list actually num. Let me call it as 150. Some number 150. So instead of that 150. Now what I'm going to check actually for I in num. For I in num, I'm going to print the value of I. Okay, I'm going to print the value of I. Else, I'm going to tell that maybe the items are exhausted or something like that. I'm going to tell items are exhausted. Items are exhausted. What will be the output when I try to run the program? See, when I try to run this program, first what it's going to run actually, it will check for this condition. For the output will be something like this. See, when I try to run this code, first it will take for I is equal, that is for num, for 1. So the output will be 1 first. Okay. Then it will be 5. Then it will be 0. Then it will try to tell that items are exhausted. So like this, I can check for, say, all the 3 items are checked, all the conditions. Just I have taken 3 numbers. You can, if you want, you can have n numbers also. I have taken only. So here I am trying to check for the condition in the loop. See, the loop actually, the loop consists of only 3 numbers, 1, 5, 0. So 1, 5, 0 get printed. Then the moment it comes out of this loop, the moment it comes out of the loop, it will try to tell that this else statement is executed, and it will tell that the items are exhausted. Okay, fine. Maybe I can give best example of the marks scored by students. So that itself I can give an example. Say for example, if I have a what I can call a dictionary of some 2 or 3 students, names of 2 students with a marks actually. Okay, let me write a simple code. What is it actually? So let me call that as marks. Okay, so let me call it as Anu. Okay, so what are the marks scored by 80. Okay, then next person, let me call it as some James. Okay, he scored some 70. Then let me call it as some name, Ravi. Yes, 50. So let me take some arbitrary numbers I've taken. Now what I'm going to do actually, I will check for the student, his marks actually. So let me, if I'm going to put it in the loop actually. For student, I'll call it as STU. Okay. For student in marks, okay, for student in marks, if that particular student is equal to some student name, okay, I will have one more condition, that is if condition. If STU, the student, is equal to STU underscore name with a colon. So what I'm going to do actually, print, okay, marks of that student, okay. So here one advantage I can use actually, I can use a break statement. I can use a break statement. What is a break statement? See, break statement is used to take the condition. See, the condition is satisfied. The moment the condition is satisfied, I can take the loop out of your that particular for loop. Okay, so that particular condition also I can use it. If you want, we can use a break statement, or I can use else. Okay, print. Okay, so maybe marks entry not found or something like that. Marks entry not found. So this is how you can check for the students list actually. So you can check for this condition. You can check for the students. See here what I'm trying to have actually, I have 3 students, Anu, James and Ravi. Okay, I can do all these things here, and if I check it actually each and everything, I can get the printout of that particular marks. Otherwise, if I try to use if I don't have these marks, see this condition, this is there, no, this is not in input, then what will happen? The else statement will execute and marks entry not found will be printed. So this is how your for loop will work along with the else condition. Is the condition is fine? There are any doubts? Please unmute and you can speak.
Understood, sir.
Okay. So then, I think we'll try to stop here. I think I don't want to